All right, good morning, everyone. We are going to use all of our props today. You'll need your bricks, 2 bricks, your belt, your blanket or beach towel, whatever you're using. And if you have a pillow or 2, that would be great. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. We're going to start on our mats, on our backs. And I'm taking the my blanket here, and I've folded it and rolled it up, and I'm placing it in the center of the mat. And I have a couple of pillows here, just some throw pillows from my couch that I'm going to use at my head. And we're going to come, I'll take my jacket off here. A little brisk here this morning. Brisk but beautiful, as my grandmother used to say. I think the colors were more spectacular this year than ever. At least it seemed that way. So we're going to bring your bricks on. So there's one on either side. You want to sit on the mat in front of your blanket, but the blanket is going to be used to support our spine. So you just have to play with that a little bit. And then we want the head to be elevated a bit so that it's at least chest level or slightly above. Then we're going to take our belt. We're coming into a pose called Supta Baddha Konasana, excuse me. And we use the belt for this. So taking the belt, again, using the belt is always the hardest part. And we're going to make a big loop. So going through 2 of the metal circle thingies, hoops, and then back through 1. And we're going to make a pretty big loop because we're going to put it over our bodies and then or over our heads. And then we want it to be around our hip bones. So we want it to make sure that it's not tangled. And we want it to be at the hip bones. We don't want it to be in the small of the back because we don't want it pulling on the back, but we want it to be anchored over our hip bones. So nice and low. So play with that a bit. And again, trying to get all the loops out of that. Okay, great. And then we're going to bring our feet together and bring the loop over the feet. So I sort of have a loose, my feet aren't real close to my body. And I'm placing the bricks under my knees for support because we don't want the knees to just hang in midair. Now, while you're here, if you'd like, you can tighten this a little bit so that you get, what the belt does is helps to support the legs and keep them together. Again, making sure your belt is over the hip bones, not the back. And then just tighten them, and you have to play with this. We'll be doing this a couple of weeks so you can get used to it. But once you're comfortable with where that is, knees are supported, then we're going to go ahead and lay down into this position. This is a very restorative, relaxing pose. Maybe lift the hips and adjust your hip skin there if you need it. And then come to settle with your hands at the side, palms up if you're comfortable with that. This pose is just a wonderful way to relax at the end of the day, or if you're in times of stress, also a wonderful pose for just an opening of the hips and the inner thighs. So closing the eyes, coming to a quiet space in the mind. And breathing. And if you'd like to set an intention for class, please do that now. We're going to start with a breathing exercise today called Viloma. and it means something like against the grain. Now, there is a retention part of it where we hold the breath. It's if you have heart issues or have had heart issues, hypertension, high blood pressure, holding the breath isn't recommended. So if those apply to you, just breathe continuously and skip the retention part of the breathing. But for those of the rest of you who are okay with that, we're going to inhale through, and I'll just explain it first. We're going to inhale through the lower part of the body of the torso first, for a third of it, and hold for just a beat. Then we'll expand to the second third of the body, expanding the lung cage, and hold for a beat. Then we'll completely fill the top part of the lungs and the upper torso and hold. And then exhale in reverse, top, middle, side, and bottom. And that's the exhale through all three and return to normal breathing. So let's just take a preparatory breath in through the nose, nice and slow. And then exhaling through the nose. On your next inhale, filling the lower part of the torso and hold. Inhale again, now expanding the mid part of the chest and hold. Now inhale, filling the tops of the lungs completely and hold. And then exhale completely, top, middle, bottom. And then return to normal breathing. This exercise just brings our focus to our inhalations, helping us to expand our lungs and increase the prana into the body. So let's repeat that again. Preparatory breath in through the nose. Make sure you're relaxing the shoulders and the jaw, and exhale. Now again, on your inhalation, third of the lower part of the torso and hold. Inhale now, expanding the rib cage and hold. And then finally, the top part of the lungs and the torso, hold for a moment, and then exhale completely through the nose, top, middle, bottom. Completely exhaling and return to normal breathing. Just noticing the sensations. The awareness of your breath. Any tension you may be holding. Taking another preparatory breath, we'll repeat this one final time. Inhaling. And then exhaling through the nose. And begin inhaling bottom third of the lungs and hold. Middle third of the lungs and hold. Top of the lungs, as much as you can possibly take in, filling the lungs completely and hold. And then exhale, releasing all that does not serve you, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing all the stale air. Coming to empty, and then inhaling fresh, clear prana and returning to normal breathing. Again, maybe noticing any tensions that as you were doing this exercise in the body, that any holding you might be doing other than the retention itself, maybe in the neck, maybe in the jaw. And maybe finding ways of releasing that tension. Now, this position, this Supta Baddha Konasana, is one that you can stay in for several minutes, or as long as you'd like, frankly. There's no harm in staying in this position. But we're going to move on now. So let's first take our hands under our knees, lift our knees up, bring our feet up over our bodies a little bit or off the floor, and one by one, take the belt off your feet. Lift your hips gently and just remove the belt, and let's take it off the body and lay it over to the side. Moving our bricks out of the way, let's roll over onto our right side. Push ourselves up, and you can push the blankets and the pillows out of the way for today. Let's come back onto our backs though. Bring our knees over our chest, interlock your fingers over the shins, and just roll around on the small of our back, giving yourselves a little hug with the knees, little massage under the small of the back, just enjoying this. Just enjoying this. It feels good. And then let's bring the feet down to the floor. And let's just, with our hands on the floor, press the hips up, give them a little wiggle, just a little shimmy in the hips, relax your neck, and down. Again, inhale, lift the hips, shimmy, relaxing the belly, waking up the lower spine and the belly, and down. Inhale one more time. Also loosening up the lower back, and down. Bringing the knees back up over the belly again, and taking your hands behind your thighs. Let's just gently start to roll the knees forward and back, just a little rocking here. And we're going to move into our spinal rock. So we want to make sure you keep your neck, your chin tucked against the chest. So by doing so, we're going to then kick the legs over the head a little bit and just start to gently rock. We want to keep the spine as much rounded as much as possible so that we're not slapping the back against the floor. But this is just a nice little chiropractic adjustment. Just rolling along the spine that feels wonderful, enlivens the spine, gets the energy going. And when you're done with that, when you're ready, let's just roll up to sitting and come to a cross-legged position or whatever seated position is comfortable to you. Their hands on our knees. Let's just close our eyes, drop our chin, and do some gentle neck rolls. Inhale, going to your left. 6, 7, 8, and other side. Exhale, relax your shoulders, check your jaw, space between your teeth. Gentle and slow. Inhale again to really feeling the edges of the neck socket, and exhale to the other side. Check your shoulders again. One more time. Inhale. What's going on with your neck today? Is it all good? Or do you have any little crinkles in there that maybe need a little extra attention? Coming to the other side now. Inhale to the other way. Relax your shoulders and the jaw, and exhale to the other side. One more time. Inhale. Coming to the top. And exhale down the other side. Final time this way. Inhale. And exhale. And coming to center, let's bring our arm over to the side. We're going to come into sort of a side saddle position here. We're going to come down on our forearm, reaching up to the sky with the opposite arm. We're going to just thread the needle. Oh, nice crack in my spine there. Coming back, really reach back and up with the arm, and then thread it through for a nice twist. Inhale up, let the arm fall back to open up the chest, and then gently twist. And take as much time here, do this nice and slow, really feeling this gentle twist of the spine. And I don't know, do 4 or 5, whatever feels good. And then let's do the other side. So again, we're going to come onto our forearm on your other side, mirroring you, that would be your right. And my legs are in side saddle position. I'm going to reach up and back, opening the chest. Keep this, make sure you're keeping the chin soft here, and then threading, really reaching and getting a nice twist. Again, things are waking up and moving in my spine, which feels wonderful. And again, exhale down, inhale up, and exhale. Do these at your own pace. Just noticing any tightness maybe in the hips, maybe the sides of the lower back, and breathe. And then coming back to center. Keeping in our side saddle here. We did these the other day. I'm going to do them again. We're going to just do some gentle reaching over to one side and then going to the other side. So just side to side, sort of windshield wipering, reaching, getting the legs moving into it more now, as slow as you'd like. And breathing. And then maybe adding the arm, lasso arms, I like to say. Inhale with the arm, exhale, center. Inhale, reach, exhale, center. I keep sliding. I have to keep moving myself. That's fine. I'm leaning back on the arms. Inhale. Now, after you've done a few of these, we're going to add the hip lift. So just the hip lift. We're up on the knees, still doing the arm. Hip lift, lift those hips, center. Lift the hips, inhale, center. Inhale, lift the hips as high as you can, and center. Now, if you'd like, we're going to also go on to, we did this a couple weeks ago, this time when you come to the side, coming up onto the knees. Now, if you can't do this, feel free to use the hand, that's fine. This takes core strength, so engage your core as well as hip strength, and come back down, coming to the other side. Again, pressing, engaging the core, pressing through those knees and coming. If you can't do it, just work on it. The first step is the previous one where we're just lifting the hips. Eventually, after doing the hip lifts, you may find the strength to do the lifts completely, but this does work on the core as well as the glutes and upper legs. So a few of those, and then let's come back to center. Actually, let's come onto all fours now. Bring your bricks and have them on the shoebox size on either side of you. I'm going to tuck my toes, have my hands on the bricks, and we're just going to do some Tootsie Rolls here. So I'm just going to roll over on the toes. So play with this a little bit. We're going directly over that big toe, and you can put the bricks up higher if you'd like, that works as well. The bricks are just for you to support, and you can also control how much weight you're putting on the toes by how much weight you take in the hands. We're just working into loosening up those toes. So play with this a little bit. Maybe try coming over the pinky toes a little bit. Maybe the big toes. And when you're done with that, you can put the bricks to the side. Let's spread our knees and come into our child pose. Again, using whatever props you'd like here. A brick under the head if you'd like. A blanket under the knees if the mat isn't enough padding for your knee. And let's just breathe here through the back of the body. Relax your jaw and your shoulders. Taking any wiggles or jiggles you'd like here. And on your next inhalation, let's come up onto all fours. Just do a little bit of work on our wrists here. So we're on all fours. My hands are just underneath my shoulders. And we're just going to spread the fingers nice and wide with your 2s and 3s and 4s all pointed somewhat towards the front of your mat. And just start rocking into the wrist joint. So my arms are straight because I'm concentrating on that wrist joint. And you can do some circles here if you'd like as well. Rolling the wrist joint, go one way, then maybe go the other way. And when you're done with that, let's turn the hand so that the fingers are facing towards the outside of the mat, still spreading the fingers as wide as possible. Now, you may not be able to get a straight 90-degree angle. That's fine. If they're more angled, that's fine, just wherever your wrists are. And again, let's just sort of gentle movements here. It's a very delicate joint. Just side to side. Maybe forward and back, whatever feels right, just play with it. Just noticing how your wrists feel. And when you're ready with that, when you're done with that, let's go the other way. So now the fingers are pointing in towards each other. Again, only going as far as you can. If you're more like that, that's fine. Don't force anything. This is just a little bit of warming up the wrists to avoid injury or strain. Again, gentle movements and breathing. And the final one with the fingers pointed back towards the body. Again, this is the strongest one. So only turn them as far back. If you're more angled like that, that's fine. But if you're okay with this, fingers are pointed towards the back, towards the body. We're just going to do some gentle stretches here. Gives us a nice forearm, the under forearm stretch here. Relax your jaw. And then release gently. Let's give them a little shake out. Maybe roll them a little bit. Good. Bringing your hands back out now, let's tuck our toes and come into downward facing dog. And walk your dog. Stretch out your calves. Hips to the sky as high as you can. Make sure your fingers are spread nice and wide and you're distributing the weight into the tops of the hands, avoiding dumping into the wrist area. Maybe looking side to side underneath your arms.
And when you're ready, let's walk the hands to the back of the mat towards your feet, softening your knees as needed, and then walking back forward. Walking again and breathing. Again, keep the knees soft here and walking back out. One more time. Walk the hands and then walking back forward. On your next inhale, let's soften the knees again and walk the feet now to the front of our mat. Coming into Uttanasana or forward fold. Keep your knees soft. Inhale up onto the fingertips, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale deeper into the fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your hips. Engage your core, press through the heels, and hinge up to standing. Bringing your hands to your side, and let's grab our belt. And for right now, let's take the loop out of the belt. And just so it's straight. And we're going to just put it around our neck and let it just hang there for a moment. Coming into our mountain pose with our big toes together, we're going to lift and spread our other toes and then place them on the mat, aligning the outside of our feet so that they're aligned with the sides of our mats. And then softening the eyes, coming into our Tadasana. Coming to the breath. Feeling the engagement of our feet with the ground and with the earth beneath. Feeling that rock, that stability. Engaging with the energy of the earth and pulling it up into the arches, lifting the arches of the feet now, engaging the feet. All the toes, the heel, the arches, lifting that energy, that pure white light of prana into the legs, engaging our calves, pulling up at the kneecaps as we engage our thighs, knitting the hips together to support the internal organs, engaging our mula bandha at the perineal area to support the pelvic floor, pulling that energy up now into the torso, engaging the uddiyana bandha at our core, pulling in and up towards the back of the spine. Allowing that energy now to rise up through the spine, opening our heart space, shoulders back and down, relax the shoulders, engage the Jalandhara bandha, gently pulling in the chin, and allowing the energy now to rise up the back of the spine, back of the neck and head, and out through the crown. And feeling this connection of earth and sky through our being. Coming now to our victorious breath, Jalandhara, or the Ujjayi breathing. Engaging the body with this energy and this strength, this mighty mountain. And you can return to normal breathing. Open your eyes. Take a step apart with your feet so that you're about hip level. I'm going to turn to the side here. Take your belt now and place it under your armpit so that it goes around the back of the body, right around like where your bra strap would be if you are a woman. And we're holding the belt at the armpits, right on either side of the chest. Keeping that same Tadasana posture. On our next inhale, we're going to raise up with the belt, let the hands slide over the belt at about a 45-degree angle. When you get to the top, continue that feeling of pulling up, that traction, and use the belt to lift the spine, the ribs. Follow the hands with your eyes. But keep the chin soft and breathe. Inhale. Relax your shoulders, but keep that tension with the hands. Inhale. Really making space in the spine. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. You can release the belt. Just drop it to the side and just take a moment to notice the feelings and the sensations. This wonderful posture, space, and length of the spine. How the energy can move freely now and radiate out throughout your body and outside of it. Coming into our dynamic flow, let's stand at the front of our mat, still in our Tadasana pose, but with our feet at about hip width. Let's inhale, reaching up now, reclaiming that space, and exhale, hinging down to our forward fold. Inhale, up halfway onto the fingertips, finding space, and exhale deeper into the fold. Inhale, step back with the right foot. Exhale, step back with the left. Inhale, rolling the shoulders over the hands, and exhale, if you can, trying to lower the body straight. If not, you can continue to drop the knees. But if you're ready, try to challenge yourself a bit and lower the body straight down to the floor in a reverse push-up. Inhale, coming into our cobra, lifting the hands, shoulders, and head, finding even more lift, pulling those shoulders, squeezing between the shoulder blades for 2 breaths here. And then exhale down one more time. Inhale, hands, shoulders, head, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze between the shoulder blades. Press through the feet to get more lift, and exhale down. Locust, lift the feet, the hands, the shoulders, the head. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the whole length of the spine, all the muscles on either side, breathing for 2, finding more lift if possible, and exhale down one more time. Inhale, feet, hands, shoulders, head. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as high as you can, and then exhale down. Now, moving on, if you'd like to challenge yourself, we're going to start pressing directly from here to dog and not going to child. So inhale, tuck the toes, press through the hands, and come into downward facing dog. We'll do a few breaths here. Inhale. And exhale, hips to the sky. Press those heels towards the floor. Inhale again. Taking any movements you'd like. And exhale for 2. Inhale up. You can come onto your toes if you'd like. And exhale. Inhale for 4. Exhale. Shake your head yes and no. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale for 5. Soften the knees. Let's walk from the back of the mat to the front, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to hips. Gauge the core, press the heels. Come to standing. Now keep going one more time. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward. Inhale, Ardha, up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the knees soft. Inhale, step back this time with the left. Exhale with the right. Inhale, rolling forward into our plank, and exhale, knees or whole belly to the floor. Straighten the feet. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, hold. Inhale, squeeze. And exhale down. Relax the neck. Again, inhale. Hands, shoulders, head. Exhale, hold. Inhale and exhale down. Now cobra, excuse me, locust. Inhale, feet, hands, shoulders, head. Exhale, hold, lift, 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 squeeze the whole back. And down. One more time. Inhale, feet, hands, shoulders, head. Exhale, squeeze and hold. Inhale, squeeze, lift, and exhale down. Inhale, tuck your toes, press through the hands, coming directly to downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Inhale. And exhale, shake your head out. Inhale for 2, make sure your fingers are spread. And exhale. Inhale for 3. And exhale. Inhale for 4. And exhale. Inhale for 5. And exhale. Inhale, soften the knees, walk to the front of the mat, coming into our forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the hips, gauge your core, press to the heels, and come to standing. Now moving on, lift the arms again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back right foot. Exhale, step back left foot. Now we're going to stay here in downward facing dog for just a second. Now we're going to lift the right foot up to the sky as high as you can, point your toe, and then bringing the knee forward, we're going to come into our pigeon pose. Now with the knee crossing the mat in front of us. The knee is on the outside of the body, not directly in front like that. The knee is facing at an angle to the side of the mat. The back leg is straight. This is our pigeon pose. Now, for some people, this is too much. So I'm going to give you a couple of modifications. For those of you who are okay with this, you can stay here. If your hip is way up, you can put a brick under it. We want the body to be as much as possible, the pelvic bones as much as possible to be in alignment. Walk the hands forward and rest the head onto the floor. For those of you who this is just too much for, let me give you a couple of things. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So instead of that back leg being, I have to move out here so you can see it straight, you can sort of do a side saddle kind of position and walk the hands like that. That's one way to do it. You can also, if this is just, none of this is working for you, you can come onto the back and do the side, the upside down pigeon, which is where we cross the leg over and just hold the leg, the shin with the interlocked finger. So that work from that position if the regular pigeon isn't working for you. All right, so whatever you're finding that's working, let's just stay in this position. Obviously a very strong hip opener. Making sure you're breathing, relax the neck, relax the shoulders. When you're ready, walk the hands back to the body. Now walking the hands now, still in our pigeon, we're going to walk the hands to the bent knee side for a gentle twist. Inhale, lengthening the spine, lifting the crown, And exhale, coming into a twist. And just breathe here for a moment. This should be just a gentle twist, nothing crazy. There's a lot going on with pigeon. So you can take this much slower if you'd like to stop the tape, if you're watching it on tape, and just let it settle. And then you can walk the hands back. Now, tucking the back leg to get into this psoas muscle, which is one of the largest abdominal muscles that connect basically the top of the leg with the spine, but it's deep and hard to reach. If you tuck that back leg and lift the knee off the floor, coming onto your fingertips here, you may find that stretch between where that feeling is. I'm actually feeling it on both sides, but feeling it along that area from the where the back leg connects, the muscle that connects. So you can play with that by lifting the knee and onto the toe and breathing there. It's strong, so if it's too much, don't push it. And release. One more quad stretch we can do here, if it is available to you, is to reach with the left arm to the left ankle and just grabbing that ankle and pulling the foot towards the hips if it's available. You can also use a belt here. And breathing just to get a little bit of a quad stretch here. Again, if it's available. If it's not, don't worry about it. And release. Bringing the hands now at the front of the mat. We're going to press through and come back to our downward facing dog and shake it out. Just walk the legs out. Strong leg opening, hip opening work here. Now we're going to do the other side. So we're going to take the left leg up to the sky as high as you can. Exhale, bring that knee forward and placing it on the mat at an angle. Again, working our way back so that our pelvis is on the floor. Using a block under the brick if you need to for support if your hip just isn't getting there. And this takes time. This is a strong hip opener, but there's a lot going on with it. It's a wonderful pose. Walking the hands forward, finding your pigeon, and breathe. Making whatever adjustments you feel you need to make. Just use this as an opportunity to explore this pose and see how you can make it work for your body. It's not, can we do the pose? It's how can the pose help us? Another breath. Now walking the hands in towards the body, lifting the torso, coming onto the fingertips. We're now going to gently walk the hands over to the other knee now, lifting the torso up through the head, finding space in the spine, and exhale, a gentle twist here. Finding a stretch maybe again in that psoas area of the opposite of the extended leg. And then coming back to center. Now, as before, if you'd like, lifting, tucking the back toe, lifting that knee, finding that stretch. Again, it's in this area, the psoas. Cause of a lot of lower back pain, and it's very difficult to get that stretch. But this is one method of finding it. And breathe. And release, bring the knee down. Again, if it is available to you, reaching now with the right arm, grabbing the right ankle, and just a gentle stretch here, quad stretch. Bring the ankle in towards the hip. And again, you can use the belt here. If you're having trouble reaching it, relax the jaw and the shoulders. Another breath. And release. Hands come back to the mat, press through the hands, bring the back leg back to our dog and shake it out. A couple breaths in downward facing dog. Wiggle those hips around. On your next inhalation, let's walk to the front of the mat, keeping your knees soft. Coming into forward fold. Hands come to the hips. Oh, let's do the Arta first, forgot that. And then exhale down. And now hands to the hips, engage your core, press the heels, and hinging up to standing. Bringing your hands to your heart. Let's just take a resting breath here. Close your eyes. Noticing the effects of our pigeon. Kapotasana. You can bring your hands down and open your eyes. And let's grab a block, brick. And we're going to do another, if you haven't noticed, we're working on hips today. We're going to do an exercise called the Turkish get-ups. And we're going to use the brick mostly just as a point of focus. So with our feet about hip width apart, we're going to raise the, I'm mirroring you here, so raise your right arm on the inhalation. Exhale, we're going to step back and come down onto our left knee into a lunge and on placing the left hand onto the floor for support. Inhale, I'm going to press through that hand on the floor, lift the hip, and bring the foot forward into a seated position. Exhale, I'm going to lay down, keeping the brick up the whole time. Inhale, I'm going to press up, engaging the core and using my forearm. Now I'm going to press through the hand, bring that same foot back up to my lunge, brick still up, and inhale, standing up, and exhale, brick down. It's a lot to learn. First couple of times I did this, I was very confused, so just bear with me. And we're going to do the other side. So inhale, now the other arm is going to raise the brick up. Exhale, coming down into a lunge onto the knee, hand to the floor beside the knee. Press through that hand as we inhale and pull the foot forward. Takes hip strength there. Exhale, laying down. Brick is still up. Inhale, up onto the forearm, engaging your core here. Now exhale, pressing through that hand, lift the hip, bring the knee underneath, come to our kneeling position. Inhale, standing up, and exhale down. How are we doing? We're going to do it again, and you can practice it this week. Again, inhale, now I'm using the right arm, brick up. Exhale, kneel down on the other knee and hand. Inhale, press to the hand, bring the leg forward, and exhale, laying down, brick remains up. Inhale, sitting up. Exhale, press through the hand, coming to kneeling. Inhale, stand up, and exhale, brick down. Other side. Inhale, brick up. Exhale, kneel, hand to the side. Inhale, lift the foot and bring it through. Exhale, sitting down, or laying down, excuse me. Inhale, sitting up. Exhale, bringing the knee through and coming to kneeling. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, brick down. This is a great exercise to get the blood moving, to really work on moving the hips. It takes abdominal strength as well. So I would strongly urge you to work on that through the week. And if you find it just feels a little weird at first, keep at it. It will eventually settle in. All right. Coming to the front of our mat,
Let's cross our hands at our heart and take a big wide step back with our feet pointed out at a diagonal. So I've got, my legs are about my feet are about a leg length apart. Inhale, let's bring the arms up to the top, into our heart, into our prayer hands, and bring the knees down into our horse riding stance. Now, when you're in this position, we want to make sure that the knees are not collapsing in. We want to keep the knees pointed in the same general direction as the toes. And I want to be in a no more than a 90-degree seated position here, but it's called horse riding stance. Let's bring the arms up again. Exhale back down into our horse riding stance. Check your knees. Now bring the arms out so that your elbows are at your shoulder level with your hands facing forward. Imagining yourself grabbing a rod here, and we're just going to do some rolls with the arms. Strong legs, and breathe. Roll forward a few times, then roll back, opening up the shoulders. And then bring the arms down, straighten the legs, hands together, and let's come down again. This time bringing the arms up again so that your elbows are at about shoulder level. Now, as though someone was pressing your hand against your hands, creating sort of isometric pressure, press your hands down as though someone's trying to keep you from doing that. Very slowly down. And then inhale up as though someone's pressing against those hands. Again, down, slowly, really creating that opposite pressure in the hands, and back up. One more time, strong legs here. Exhale. Very slowly, strong arms. Inhale, coming back up. Drop the arms, straighten the legs, hands together. And let's come back one more time. Okay. Reaching forward, I'll turn this way, as though you had a pole that you are grabbing, and you're going to squeeze that pole with your wrist, and then change the hand so the other end is on top, and squeeze, and change and squeeze, change and squeeze, change and squeeze. Do a few of these. Strong legs. Drop the hands, bring the hands up to the heart. Whoops, sorry, it's hard to talk and do this at the same time. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a moment here. Close the eyes and breathe. And you can drop your hands and bring your feet closer together. Shake them out a little bit. Coming into some balance work. Let's grab one brick and shake out your legs. Ooh, I felt that, a little burning in the legs. Now, balance work here, we're going to be using the brick. Now, if you're not real good with your balance, you might want to do this close to the wall or something, a chair that you can hold onto. We don't want anyone falling here. But otherwise, if you, let's take your foot, put it on the brick. We're going to stand on the brick just to give us a little elevation. I'm still touching on the other side with my toe. Bring your hands to your hips. Find your point of focus, engage your core. And when you're ready, we're just going to lift the leg and swing. Slow and breathe. And when you're ready, point your toe and just make some little circles. Well, not so easy. Go the other way. And release. We'll do the other side. Other side. So we're going to bring the foot now to the other brick, and with the toe pointing, I'm just touching with my other toe. When you have your balance, again, find your point of focus, engage your core, lift the toe, and gentle swings.
And when you're ready, circles. Other way. And release. And you can move the brick out of the way. Stepping to the front of your mat. Arms rise up to the sky, feet are about hip width apart, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, looking up halfway. Exhale, deeper into the fold. Inhale, step back with the right foot. Exhale, step back into the left foot, coming into our downward facing dog. Now with your hands nice and spread, distributing the weight through the fingers, lift the right foot behind you, point the toe. We're going to then bring the knee forward, bend the knee, and touch the opposite elbow. And up. Let's do 3 or 4 of those. A little bit of strength work here. Whew. 2. And reach. 3. And breathe. And reach. Do as many as is comfortable. If 1 is it, then do 1. Tomorrow, do 2. Okay. And then down. Shake it out. Do the other side. Inhale, bring the left leg up. Point that toe. Exhale, bring it in, touch the opposite elbow. And up. Inhale for 2. And up. Inhale for 3. Up. Inhale for 4. I think we did 5. And down. Drop your knees. Bring your arms around your legs and let's come into child for a rest here, just for a moment. Strong work here, arm work. When you're ready, let's bring the arms out. With our knees under our hips, our hands under our shoulders. You can just untuck the toes. We're going to lift to the knees. This is our bear pose and just holding it here. Again, lifting the knees and breathe. Let's see if we can make 5 breaths. Relax the jaw and the shoulders. Inhale for 4. Last breath, inhale. And exhale, bring the knees down. Just a breath, but then we're going to go back up. And this time we're going to take the left leg, thread it through, and just do a rotate to that side. Other side, keeping the knees off the floor. Thread to that side. Doesn't matter if you touch the hips, you can, or you can keep the hips up, whichever. I'm just going to do a few of those. Again, hip strength, arm strength. One more. And down, knees down. Okay. You can shake your arms out if you'd like. Moving on. On all fours still, we're going to extend the back leg. Point the back toe and lift it so that your leg is in line with your hip. Try not to let the hip fall over. Doing some gentle rolls just with the foot. I'm just rotating around the ankle. Go the other way. Then I'm going to bring the leg over to the side so that my foot is in line with my knee. My hands are still out forward, and I'm just going to do some gentle rocking back and forth, playing with how far you want to extend that leg to get the stretch you'd like here. Gentle rocking. And when you're ready, coming up onto your knees, inhale. I'll do it this way so you can see. Inhale, bringing the arms up, coming into our gate
pose. Exhale, I'm going to drop the left hand onto that left extended knee. I'm going to keep the extension in the upraised hand, pulling that hip bone up here, that the left leg, that hip bone up into the joint, seeing how it creates a hinge. I'm going to hinge then to the side and breathe, continuing to reach up and out with the right hand. And then coming back to center, now grabbing a brick, putting it on this right beside your knee that is on the floor. And with your hand on that brick, now we're going to raise the other arm, lift the leg again, coming into our half moon pose. Foot is in line with the hip, making sure that the head is also in line with the spine, not drop down. And breathe, looking up past the hand, keeping the chin tucked in and down. Now bringing that knee, now the leg that's extended down to the floor, but we're still staying on our knee, but we're going to cross that leg over the back leg so that both knees are now on the floor. If this is not available to you, if you have a knee issue or something, you can just keep the knees beside each other. Otherwise, cross the legs, extend the arms, and we're just going to rock back and forth in this pose. Gentle rocking here. Again, more hip opening. And if it is available to you, now please watch this first. I'm going to walk my hands back. I'm going to sit down, keeping the knees crossed. Now, if that's not available to you, then just come into, you can extend the back, the bottom leg, and just bring that leg, the other leg over the other one so that the knees are still covered, but still in line, but the bottom leg is stretched out. If you're okay with this, and I'll show it, I'm sorry, this one's a sort of hard one to show you from a couple of different angles. If you're okay here, we're sort of in a shoelace pose. I'm sitting between my feet. And we're just going to take a moment here and settle in. Strong hip opener. Again, if this is too strong, extend the bottom leg, okay? If this knee is just coming up uncomfortably high, you can put a brick or even shove a pillow or blanket there to support it. We don't want to stress the knees. We're working on the hips here. Moving the skin away from my hip bones. So I have a nice foundation here. When you're ready, bring the arms up, reaching to the sky, exhale, hinging forward, bringing the hands to the floor. And again, we're not trying to touch our nose to the floor. We're just trying to find that length in the spine, especially in the lower back area. Find your stretch and breathe into it. With each breath, with each inhalation, feeling the spine expanding and lengthening. Relax the jaw. And when you're ready, walk the hands back forward. Now, whichever leg is bent on top, in this case, well, I'll do this backwards. So it would appear to be your right knee is on top. You're going to take the left arm then and the left arm and put it on top of the other arm and bring the hands around in our eagle arms. So we want the opposite arm and opposite legs to be on top. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders as you press the hands together and find space in the shoulders, feeling the shoulder blades open. Maybe as you inhale, lifting the hands a bit, finding more space. Maybe if you're comfortable with it, you could stay there, or if you'd like to come forward, bring the arms onto the knees, finding a stretch that way too, it's fine.
And inhale, coming up. Shake your arms out. Bring the fingers in onto your fingertips with the fingers pointing in towards the body. And let's just do a little stretch of the forearms here. Couple breaths. And shake it out. Unlace the legs. Give them a little shake. We're going to do the other side now. I'm going to do it from this position. I think it might be easier. So again, extending now the left leg out behind, like this. We're going to lift that leg up, point the toe, and just do some gentle circles. One way, and then the other. Then bringing that leg over to the side. I'm switching here again, so that the foot is in line with the knee. Hands are in front of you, fingers spread, and do some gentle rocks. Opening that hip. Finding a stretch in the inner thigh, groin area. Coming up now onto the knees. Inhale, the arms rise, coming into our gate pose, dropping the left arm or the right arm over the right leg, pulling that hip bone up so that you see my hip going out there, creating that hinge point. Inhale, reach and hinge from the side. Finding that stretch. Relax the chin. And breathe. Now releasing that, I'm going to come now, bring that upper arm over to the kneeling side, find my brick, my hand on my brick. Inhale, lift the arm up, lift the leg out, and coming into my half moon pose here. Looking up towards the extended, past the extended hand. And breathe. And release. Now bringing that leg from the side, now crossing it over behind the other knee, reaching forward, and we're just going to rock here with the knees crossed. If that's available, again, if not, just keep the knees straight and not crossed and just rock back and forth. Now, again, if it is available to you, pressing yourself back into a seated position. Again, I'm going to switch here and come into our shoelace pose, our eagle pose, with the knees pretty much stacked on top of each other. Again, if that's available. If it's not, again, take the bottom leg and extend it. Just finding your hip bones, getting them rooted into the floor. Inhale, the arms rise. Exhale, hinging forward, bringing the hands to the floor and finding that length in the back. Relax the jaw. Feeling that stretch. I'm pulling with my hands a little bit. I'm really rooting in with my hips and pulling with the hands, creating a nice little traction there in the lower back. Also, a lot of stuff going on there with the legs, probably stretching. But nothing should feel burning or hard or hot or hurt. And release, bring the hands up. Again, in this case, I have my right leg on top, so I'm going to take the left arm over the right, bring the hands around, press through the hands, open the shoulders, relax the shoulders and the jaw, and allow this opening as you press the hands. Feel the opening in the back of the shoulder blades. If you'd like, lifting the arms up. And if, again, either staying there or if you'd like, you can bend forward. Inhale, bringing the arms up. Shake the arms out. Bringing the fingers forward, or the fingers so that they're facing back. And let's just do a gentle stretch here at the back of the forearms. And release. Shake your arms out. Coming onto your backs and taking a moment to settle in here, bringing the feet up off the mat and your knees up over your abdomen. My knees are bent, my feet are flexed. And again, just like we sort of did with that horse pressing thing, we're going to create our own isometric pressure. So I'm going to, with my hands on my thighs, I'm going to press with my right hand against my right thigh, but I'm going to resist with that thigh. So I'm really sort of pressing. Now, at the same time, what I'm really doing here is working the abs. So you want to have your small of your back against the floor and engage your core while you're doing this pressing out. And the same thing as the leg comes back, resist with the hand. Now we're going to do the other side. So pressing, sort of pedal position here, but creating your own traction. The hand forcing against the leg forcing against the hand. Engage your core. We're just going to do a few of these. Sort of a gentle ab exercise. It's really about as gentle or as intense as you want it to be. Make sure you're really working here. Pressing and resisting. And when you're ready, you can bring the feet back to the floor. Let's lift the hips up, give them a little shimmy to release them. And then working into our Shavasana now, extending the legs, taking some little rolls or shimmies, rolls, whatever you'd like. Maybe a stretch here if you'd like. Kicking the feet out. And then bringing the hands to the side of the body with the palms facing up. Checking the body. Making sure we're releasing all tension. Quieting the mind. Coming to the breath. And now coming back to the awareness of your body. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rolling the head from side to side. Bending the knees and bringing them up to your chest. Final hug here. And when you're ready, let's roll over onto our right side. Another moment just in this, another breath on our sides. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a seated position. Bringing the hands to the heart, eyes closed, coming back to the intention if you set one at the class. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope the energy of our practice today radiates throughout your day and your week ahead. Thank you for sharing with me today. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, anything that you're having trouble with today, or anything you'd like some help with, please feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to hear from you. And otherwise, I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Robin.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.